view up the modestly steep road. So far it's not that bad. I think it gets worse, but we'll see. Looking back, I think down valley to Cañaris, and here a spray, if you will. I don't think I'll be able to see these well until I can look at them on my computer. And some nearby flowers. They may be the same, although the bushes are different, the leaves are different. That noise is probably a vendor, and he has a loudspeaker on his truck to let people know he's coming. This is how you get stuff up in the mountains and how they sell stuff. Works both ways to solve a really dicey problem of these really steep, intricate road systems. Can't resist pretty flowers. And it looks like there's some smaller flowers there, maybe on some kind of vine that's piggybacking that purple flowers. Literally dotted with these beautiful, rich, blue, almost purple colors. Beautiful flower I'm not sure I've seen before. Could be just a different perspective, but all of them look to have that interesting two-direction opening, if you will. I don't know if that's a big version of the one we were just looking at or not. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Here's its bud over here. Here's another novel plant. I'll pan down so you can see how its stalk goes downslope to get some open space and then produces that bundle of leaves. Yesterday I took a picture of a very small something that looked like that. I wonder if they're related. I think we've seen this before. I think I'll be surprised to see how steep and how high up we're going to climb on what I said was a modestly steep road that appears to be getting less modest. This is probably the locals' express route down, if not also up. How far up we're going? As luck would have it, the gods are with us. We don't have to go to the top, but almost. We're here. Complejo archaeological Cojitambo. Key to the map I'm about to show. A little bit of sun coming out to illuminate this site for us. I'll pan about. So I'm here at 9 o'clock. Nobody else is, which is a great thing. Notices this wall now. I don't know if it was built by the ancients or not, but I think so, seeing how wide that is down there. And it looks like it might have been a wall that was high enough to be the first defense for this area, tying into the mountain, of course, and then shooting off the edge here. Probably the wall continued around there if we were to look for it, which we will. We had an idea of how steep this side is. Still covered with bushes and so forth. It might have been penetratable, but my guess is they would have stripped everything and made it as difficult as possible. Another route that's pretty well worn, although it might have been another pathway before they built the road. Graze up here, I think llamas, although I can't be sure. Could be sheep. Post is probably a survey marker, or was. Here we're looking at the first platform. We'll have to wait till we get someone who can interpret those key information on the map. But notice here was an obvious entryway, and sloped in the past as it is now probably. This wall was here above the grade. Whether it was higher, I don't know. There's where we came in. I'll just pan around so we've got a good feel for this spot. And then right here, pretty much to the right of a line that would come from that end of what looks like an arc to the arc that's behind me. And here we have this hole, which I'm guessing from the fact that it has stone walls, it was either a well or more likely a cistern, or at this elevation both. Ahead of us, underneath that little clump of a bush there in the center, is where that hole is. And here we have some terraces, and then a large wall. And then beside us here is a raised area. For what it was used, I don't know, of course. Quite likely those terraces were used for food. They're not large enough to have dwellings on. But why that little bit for food, I don't know. Maybe the rest of the area we're standing in was also used for it. Or are there someplace other nearby? See that this was certainly a platform. Looks like it's sloped downward towards that wall. It's possible that those terraces were just seating areas for some kind of pageantry out in front there. You can see how it arches around there and then comes up to that slope we just walked up. And then on the other end of these terraces, somewhat similar construction without the access ramp. So it's possible the access ramp didn't exist. But yet, that wall only goes to that height and then it slopes up again to where we're standing. And this back wall, that's base, is lower than we are standing at now. And notice how it has a gentle curving arch upward as a stage backdrop. This tells us that Dr. Fernando Crespa, Regalado Presidente, somehow had something to do with a 1999 to 2003, I think, archaeological exploration here, and these list other people who were a part of that. This wall is original. It certainly is not a Inca wall, I don't think. I'd argue with that because this appears to match with that, but the stones do not look dressed in the superfine way of the Inca. Chapanhuasi, whatever that is, it may be this complex right here. Notice before we enter this compound, it's terraces, a set of 3 here below, a set of 3 up above, maybe 4 if you count the one on top. And also notice that there's a wall behind this complex, uphill. We'll try and trace that into those woods. Here we're in a wall that has, at least at this point, that same arcing upward. Of course it's going uphill, but nevertheless it appears to be an arc, coming down right at the point where those terraces end. And you can imagine those terraces in several different uses. My guess is they weren't for food, but that they were for something more appropriate to this site. And if it's defense, I'm not sure what it would be. If it's religious, a place for mucky mucks to sit And in either case, probably a place for mucky mucks to sit. And these terraces slope downhill, which wouldn't have been an issue if it was used for either farming or mucky mucks. This was obviously some kind of a little terrace. Has it been eroded down? Notice here another curved wall that rises up. So there was some aesthetic here. How much function is involved, I don't know. As we look along here, you can see down there a wall below this wall to our left. And I'm guessing that it was probably higher so that it came up above the native rock to provide a walk path. And maybe the same was true here. Although our wall seems to be very consistently and originally going right down to that level. So could these terraces have held religious icons also? I don't know. Approaching a building, whether there's access or not, we'll find out in a few moments. But notice the bedrock up here.